Chapters 1 through 5 of the Book of Exodus, from the Young's Literal Translation of the Bible. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Mark Penfold. Chapters 1 through 5 of the Book of Exodus, from the Young's Literal Translation. Chapter 1. And these are the names of the sons of Israel who are coming into Egypt with Jacob. A man and his household have they come: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah; Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin; Dan, and Naphtali; Gad, and Asher. And all the persons coming out of the thigh of Jacob are 70 persons. As to Joseph, he was in Egypt. And Joseph dieth, and all his brethren, and all that generation. And the sons of Israel have been fruitful, and they teem and multiply, and are very, very mighty, and the land is filled with them. And there riseth a new king over Egypt, who hath not known Joseph. And he saith unto his people, Lo, the people of the sons of Israel is more numerous and mighty than we. Give help. Let us act wisely concerning it, lest it multiply. And it hath come to pass, when war happeneth, that it hath been joined, even it, unto those hating us, and hath fought against us, and hath gone out up of the land. And they set over it princes of tribute, so as to afflict it with their burdens. And it buildeth store cities for Pharaoh, Pithom, and Raamses. And as they afflict it, so it multiplieth, and so it breaketh forth. And they are vexed because of the sons of Israel. And the Egyptians cause the sons of Israel to serve with rigor, and make their lives bitter in hard service, in clay, and in brick, and in every kind of service in the field. All their service in which they have served is with rigor. And the king of Egypt speaketh to the midwives, the Hebrewesses, of whom the name of the one is Shiphrah, and the name of the second Puah, and saith, When ye cause the Hebrew women to bear, and have looked on the children, if it is a son, then ye have put him to death; and if it is a daughter, then she hath lived. And the midwives fear God, and have not done as the king of Egypt hath spoken unto them, and keep the lads alive. And the king of Egypt calleth for the midwives, and saith to them, Wherefore have ye done this thing, and keep the lads alive? And the midwives say unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively. Before the midwife cometh in unto them, they have borne. And God doth good to the midwives, and the people multiply, and are very mighty. And it cometh to pass, because the midwives have feared God, that he maketh for them households. And Pharaoh layeth a charge on all his people, saying, Every son who is born, into the river ye do cast him, and every daughter ye do keep alive. Chapter 2. And there goeth a man of the house of Levi, and he taketh the daughter of Levi. And the woman conceiveth, and beareth a son. And she seeth him that he is fair, and she hideth him 3 months. And she hath not been able any more to hide him. And she taketh for him an ark of rushes, and daubeth it with bitumen and with pitch, and putteth the lad in it, and putteth it in the weeds by the edge of the river. And his sister stationeth herself afar off, to know what is done to him. And a daughter of Pharaoh cometh down to bathe at the river, and her damsels are walking by the side of the river. And she seeth the ark in the midst of the weeds, and sendeth her handmaid, and she taketh it, and openeth, and seeth him, the lad, and lo, a child weeping. And she hath pity on him, and saith, This is one of the Hebrews' children. And his sister saith unto the daughter of Pharaoh, Do I go? When I have called for thee a suckling woman of the Hebrews, then she doth suckle the lad for thee. And the daughter of Pharaoh saith to her, Go. And the virgin goeth, and calleth the mother of the lad. And the daughter of Pharaoh saith to her, Take this lad away, and suckle him for me, and I give thy hire. And the woman taketh the lad, and suckleth him. And the lad groweth, and she bringeth him in to the daughter of Pharaoh, and he is to her for a son. And she calleth his name Moses, and saith, Because from the water I have drawn him. And it cometh to pass in those days, that Moses is grown, and he goeth out unto his brethren, and looketh on their burdens, and seeth a man, an Egyptian, smiting a man, a Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he turneth hither and thither, and seeth that there is no man, and smiteth the Egyptian, and hideth him in the sand. And he goeth out on the second day, and lo, 2 men, Hebrews, striving. And he saith to the wrongdoer, Why dost thou smite thy neighbor? And he saith, Who set thee for a head and a judge over us? To slay me art thou saying it, as thou hast slain the Egyptian? And Moses feareth, and saith, Surely the thing hath been known. And Pharaoh heareth of this thing, and seeketh to slay Moses. And Moses fleeth from the face of Pharaoh, and dwelleth in the land of Midian, and dwelleth by the well. And to a priest of Midian are 7 daughters, and they come and draw, and fill the troughs, to water the flock of their father. And the shepherds come and drive them away, and Moses ariseth and saveth them, and watereth their flock. And they come into Reuel their father, and he saith, Wherefore have ye hastened to come in today? And they say, A man, an Egyptian, hath delivered us out of the hands of the shepherds, and also hath diligently drawn for us, and watereth the flock. And he saith unto his daughters, And where is he? Why is this? Ye left the man. Call for him, and he doth eat bread. And Moses is willing to dwell with a man, and he giveth Zipporah his daughter to Moses. And she beareth a son, and he calleth his name Gershom, for he said, A sojourner I have been in a strange land. And it cometh to pass during these many days, that the king of Egypt dieth. And the sons of Israel sigh because of the service, and cry, and their cry goeth up unto God because of the service. And God heareth their groaning, and God remembereth his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God seeth the sons of Israel, and God knoweth. Chapter 3. And Moses hath been feeding the flock of Jethro his father-in-law, priest of Midian. And he leadeth the flock behind the wilderness, and cometh in unto the mount of God, to Horeb. And there appeareth unto him a messenger of Jehovah in a flame of fire, out of the midst of the bush. And he seeth, and lo, the bush is burning with fire, and the bush is not consumed. And Moses saith, Let me turn aside, I pray thee, and I see this great appearance. Wherefore is the bush not burned? And Jehovah seeth that he hath turned aside to see. And God calleth unto him out of the midst of the bush, and saith, Moses, Moses. And he saith, Here am I. And he saith, Come not near hither, cast thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place on which thou art standing is holy ground. He saith also, I am the God of thy father, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob. And Moses hideth his face, for he is afraid to look towards God. And Jehovah saith, I have certainly seen the affliction of my people who are in Egypt, and their cry I have heard because of its exactors, for I have known its pains. And I go down to deliver it out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to cause it to go up out of the land, unto a land good and broad, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite. And now, lo, the cry of the sons of Israel hath come in unto me, and I have also seen the oppression with which the Egyptians are oppressing them. And now come, and I send thee unto Pharaoh, and bring thou out my people, the sons of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses saith unto God, Who am I, that I go unto Pharaoh, and that I bring out the sons of Israel from Egypt? And he saith, Because I am with thee, and this is to thee the sign that I have sent thee. In thy bringing out the people from Egypt, ye do serve God on this mount. And Moses saith unto God, Lo, I am coming unto the sons of Israel, and have said to them, The God of your fathers hath sent me unto you. And they have said to me, What is his name? What do I say unto them? And God saith unto Moses, I am that which I am. He saith also, Thus dost thou say to the sons of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. And God saith again unto Moses, Thus dost thou say unto the sons of Israel, Jehovah, God of your fathers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name to the age, and this my memorial to generation. Go, and thou hast gathered the elders of Israel, and hast said unto them, Jehovah, God of your fathers, hath appeareth unto me, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, saying, I have certainly inspected you, and that which is done to you in Egypt. And I say, I bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt, unto the land of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, unto a land flowing with milk and honey. And they have hearkened to thy voice, and thou hast entered, thou and the elders of Israel, unto the king of Egypt, and ye have said unto him, Jehovah, God of the Hebrews, hath met with us. And now let us go, we pray thee, a journey of 3 days into the wilderness, and we sacrifice to Jehovah our God. And I have known that the king of Egypt doth not permit you to go, unless by a strong hand. And I have put forth my hand, and have smitten Egypt with all my wonders which I do in its midst. And afterwards he doth send you away. And I have given the grace of this people in the eyes of the Egyptians. And it hath come to pass, when ye go not empty. And every woman hath asked from her neighbor, and from her who is sojourning in her house, vessels of silver, and vessels of gold, and garments. And ye have put them on your sons and on your daughters, and have spoiled the Egyptians. Chapter 4. And Moses answereth and saith, And if they do not give credence to me, nor hearken to my voice, and say, Jehovah hath not appeared unto thee. And Jehovah saith unto him, What is this in thy hand? And he saith, A rod. And he saith, Cast it to the earth. And he casteth it to the earth, and it becometh a serpent, and Moses fleeth from its presence. And Jehovah saith unto Moses, Put forth thy hand, and lay hold on the tail of it. And he putteth forth his hand, and layeth hold on it, and it becometh a rod in his hand. So that they believe that Jehovah, God of their fathers, hath appeared unto thee, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob. And Jehovah saith to him again, Put in, I pray thee, thy hand into thy bosom. And he putteth in his hand into his bosom, and he bringeth it out, and lo, his hand is leprous as snow. And he saith, Put back thy hand unto thy bosom. And he putteth back his hand unto his bosom, and he bringeth it out from his bosom, and lo, it hath turned back as his flesh. And it hath come to pass, if they do not give credence to thee, and hearken not to the voice of the first sign, that they have given credence to the voice of the latter sign. And it hath come to pass, if they do not give credence even to these 2 signs, nor hearken to thy voice, that thou hast taken of the waters of the river, and hast poured on the dry land, and the waters which thou takest from the river have been, yea, they have become blood on the dry land. And Moses saith unto Jehovah, O my Lord, I am not a man of words, either yesterday or before, or since thy speaking unto thy servant, for I am slow of mouth, and slow of tongue. And Jehovah saith unto him, Who appointed a mouth for man? Or who appointeth the dumb, or deaf, or open, or blind? Is it not I, Jehovah? And now go, and I am with thy mouth, and have directed thee that which thou speakest. And he saith, O my Lord, send, I pray thee, by the hand thou dost send. And the anger of Jehovah burneth against Moses, and he saith, Is not Aaron the Levite thy brother? I have known that he speaketh well, and also, lo, he is coming out to meet thee. When he hath seen thee, then he hath rejoiced in his heart, and thou hast spoken unto him, and hast set the words in his mouth. And I am with thy mouth, and with his mouth, and have directed you that which ye do. And he hath spoken for thee unto the people, and it hath come to pass, he is to thee for a mouth, and thou art to him for God. And this rod thou dost take in thy hand, with which thou doest the signs. And Moses goeth and turneth back unto Jethro his father-in-law, and saith to him, Let me go, I pray thee, and I turn back unto my brethren who are in Egypt, and I see whether they are yet alive. And Jethro saith to Moses, Go in peace. And Jehovah saith unto Moses in Midian, Go, turn back to Egypt, for all the men have died who seek thy life. And Moses taketh his wife and his sons, and causeth them to ride on the ass, and turneth back to the land of Egypt. And Moses taketh the rod of God in his hand. And Jehovah saith unto Moses, In thy going to turn back to Egypt, see, all the wonders which I have put in thy hand, that thou hast done them before Pharaoh. And I strengthen his heart, and he doth not send the people away. And thou hast said unto Pharaoh, Thus said Jehovah, My son, my firstborn is Israel. And I say unto thee, Send away my son, and he doth serve me. And thou dost refuse to send him away. Lo, I am slaying thy son, thy firstborn. And it cometh to pass in the way, in a lodging place, that Jehovah meeteth him, and seeketh to put him to death. And Zipporah taketh a flint, and cutteth off the foreskin of her son, and causeth it to touch his feet, and saith, Surely a bridegroom of blood art thou to me. And he desisteth from him. Then she said, A bridegroom of blood, in reference to the circumcision. And Jehovah saith unto Aaron, Go to meet Moses into the wilderness. And he goeth, and meeteth him in the mount of God, and kisseth him. And Moses declareth to Aaron all the words of Jehovah with which he hath sent him, and all the signs with which he hath charged him. And Moses goeth, Aaron also, and they gather all the elders of the sons of Israel. And Aaron speaketh all the words which Jehovah hath spoken unto Moses, and doth the signs before the eyes of the people. And the people believe when they hear that Jehovah hath looked after the sons of Israel, and that he hath seen their affliction, and they bow and do obeisance. Chapter 5. And afterwards have Moses and Aaron entered, and they say unto Pharaoh, Thus said Jehovah, God of Israel, Send my people away, and they keep a feast to me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh saith, Who is Jehovah, that I hearken to his voice to send Israel away? I have not known Jehovah, and Israel also I do not send away. And they say, The God of the Hebrews hath met with us. Let us go, we pray thee, a journey of 3 days into the wilderness, and we sacrifice to Jehovah our God, lest he meet us with pestilence or with sword. And the king of Egypt saith unto them, Why, Moses and Aaron, do ye free the people from its works? Go to your burdens. Pharaoh also saith, Lo, numerous now is the people of the land, and ye have caused them to cease from their burdens. And Pharaoh commandeth on that day the exactors among the people and its authorities, saying, Ye do not add to give straw to the people for the making of the bricks, as heretofore. They go and have gathered straw for themselves. And the proper quantity of the bricks which they are making heretofore, ye do put on them, ye do not diminish from it. For they are remiss. Therefore they are crying, saying, Let us go, let us sacrifice to our God. Let the service be heavy on the men, and let them work at it, and not be dazzled by lying words. And the exactors of the people and its authorities go out and speak unto the people, saying, Thus said Pharaoh, I do not give you straw. Go ye, take for yourselves straw where ye find it, for there is nothing of your service diminished. And the people is scattered over all the land of Egypt, to gather stubble for straw. And the exactors are making haste, saying, Complete your works, the matter of a day in its day, as when there is straw. And the authorities of the sons of Israel, whom the exactors of Pharaoh have placed over them, are beaten, saying, Wherefore have ye not completed your portion in making brick as heretofore, both yesterday and today? And the authorities of the sons of Israel come in and cry unto Pharaoh, saying, Why dost thou thus to thy servants? Straw is not given to thy servants, and they are saying to us, Make bricks, and lo, thy servants are smitten, and thy people hath sinned. And he saith, Remiss, ye are remiss. Therefore ye are saying, Let us go, let us sacrifice to Jehovah. And now go, serve. And straw is not given to you, and the measure of bricks ye do give. And the authorities of the sons of Israel see them in affliction, saying, Ye do not diminish from your bricks, the matter of a day in its day. And they meet Moses and Aaron standing to meet them in their coming out from Pharaoh, and say unto them, Jehovah look upon you and judge, because ye have caused our fragrance to stink in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of his servants, to give a sword into their hand to slay us. And Moses turneth back unto Jehovah, and saith, Lord, why hast thou done evil to this people? Why is this? Thou hast sent me. And since I have come unto Pharaoh to speak in thy name, he hath done evil to this people, and thou hast not at all delivered thy people. The end of chapters 1 through 5 of the book of Exodus, from the Young's Literal Translation. Recording by Mark Penfold.